This is one fat boy, and here are my NCAA March Madness Sweet 16 predictions for the West region. So there's Gonzaga versus Arkansas. So I expect pretty much all the Sweet 16 games to be pretty close. There's always like one or two that are going to be blowouts. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know which one will be the blowout. And if I were to lean towards one, I'd probably lean towards Gonzaga. But I think Arkansas has been able to handle their teams so far in the tournament, and then Gonzaga, they had that close one against Memphis. I'm sure they're gonna make adjustments, but it's will it be the right adjustments? Will Arkansas be able to take advantage of the mistakes that Gonzaga's been making? So I think 9.5 points. That is a large spread to cover for Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's still gonna win the game, but I think I'll lean towards Arkansas plus 9.5. For Duke versus Texas Tech, I'm gonna lean towards Texas Tech -1. So it's pretty much, who do you think is going to win this? Because right now it's +1 or -1, so that's pretty much like a money line bet. So Texas Tech is a slight favorite. I don't have a lot of faith in Duke as a team, even though they have come out, they have won their games. They came up clutch in the in the Michigan State game, turned it around, came out with a win, and then Texas Tech I think has been a little more consistent. So hence I'm leaning towards Texas Tech as they are a little bit more complete team, even though Duke, they're still a quality team, but I think Texas Tech has that slight advantage for a reason. For the East region, there's North Carolina versus UCLA. I think this is probably going to be one of the better games of the Sweet 16. You have two stellar programs going at each other. If I were to lean towards one, I'd lean towards UCLA, as they won their first two games, and then the last game they lost was against Arizona, which Arizona, that's a favorite to win, and then they went toe to toe to them, had I believe a 13, 11 point. They had a small double digit lead on them, so I think UCLA is gonna be hard to get out, and then same with UNC. So overall, I think this, you can choose either team. I would you can argue both teams for these two teams to win, but if I had to lean towards one, I think UCLA, they have more experience in the tournament due to last year, so I just have to lean towards them. Then Purdue versus St. Peter's. So I think Purdue should win, but I think covering 12.5 points. So I believe with 15 seeds, they can't get to that Elite Eight. Will St. Peter's be the one? I don't know, but I think they're good enough to stay within 12.5 points of Purdue. Purdue, I think they're a pretty strong 3 seed. They were, I believe, nationally ranked 1, the number 1 during the season. So it's they're obviously a quality team. But I think covering 12.5 points might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think if there is a team during these games that would cover it, I think it would be this game. But I think just the high that St. Peter's is on, that'll keep them within 12.5 points. For Michigan versus Villanova for the South region, I'm going to lean towards Villanova -5. So it is tournament time, so Michigan, they do show up, but this is also Villanova we're talking about, which is quality basketball school. Hard to bet against them. They get going from 3, then because they're not going to beat themselves. Villanova, they play very solid with fundamentals. It's you have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. You have to play better than them, which I think Villanova more often than not is going to be playing better than Michigan the whole game. I'm sure Michigan will have stretches in the game where they're just outplaying Villanova, but I think the coaching can call the right timeout, can call the right plays, just get certain plays in there to get Villanova back on track. So hence I'd lean towards Villanova winning and lean towards the -5. Then Arizona versus Houston. So this is going to be another great game, because I believe whoever wins this game, that is who's going to win the South region. Either Arizona or Houston's probably going to win the South region, and then likely be in the championship game. But I'll lean towards Arizona. They are the biggest team. If they crash the boards and just have extra possessions that way, that'll lead them to a win. And if they can limit their turnovers, that's the biggest thing. If they can limit their turnovers, that should give them the win. Because they had a lot of turnovers against their 16 seed, had a lot of turnovers against TCU. And if they have a lot of turnovers against Houston, I don't think they'll be coming out with a win. I think Houston, they took care of business, especially against Illinois. and they'll take advantage of all the extra turnovers. So if I had to lean towards a team, Arizona, if they can clean up their act. But if you think that Arizona's just going to be kind of combobulated by Houston and lean towards Houston, I can see either way for this, but I'd lean towards Arizona. For the Midwest region, there's Kansas versus Providence, which Providence, they've taken care of business against their 12 and the 13 seed, like winning by steady margins. So Kansas is going to be for sure a test, and then this is obviously going to be a test for Kansas too. I am leaning towards Kansas winning, but I think this will be a close game. So hence why I'm leaning towards Providence plus 7.5. Then Iowa State versus Miami, the 10 and 11 seed. So we will see a double-digit seed for sure in the Elite Eight. And the way that Miami played against Auburn, I think it's going to be tough for Iowa State to win if Miami's going to play like that. So hence why I'm leaning towards Miami 2.5. I think Iowa State, like they came to play. Obviously, like getting to the Sweet 16, like you came to play. But I think their run will stop there. But I think you could, obviously, like this can go either way. Like it is that time of the year. But I think Miami, just how they played against Auburn in that dominating fashion, I think they're looking like the better team. Thank you for watching. Hope everyone's enjoying the NCAA tournament. I assume most people's brackets are broken or mostly broken. But so it's like right now, it's just watching for fun and just watching for some good basketball. And always, thanks for watching.